This is Ruger Security 380 versus Kimber Micro 380. A comparison. Let's hit the range.
All right, here we are at the beautiful banner range again today, first thing in the morning. It's a low 30s, slight breeze every once in a while. Pretty fantastic weather for this time of year, actually. What we're going to do is, last week we did a comparison of our new Security 380 against a Ruger LCP Max. Today we're going to take a look at a different, I guess it's technically a pocket carry pistol. We're going to compare the Ruger Security 380 against a Kimber Micro 380. Again, not a apples to apples comparison, but with both being chambered in 380 ACP, sold as personal protection, concealed carry, home defense weapons, we figure they're close enough for a comparison. Consumers are going to look at them. So let's give it a shot here today and see how they compare. We're going to start out with the Kimber Micro 380. We'll shoot at the bottom of our two targets today. And just like last week, I have set up all morning, no gloves on, so we can simulate the cold hand effect right out the gate. We'll do 7 shots with the Kimber Micro 380. Here we go. Feels tiny. Let's do one more bag. We got a couple loaded, we might as well. Here we go. Same target. We see, for me, what's going to be a pretty decent group out there. Even with cold hands, 0 failures. Of course, we used some range ammo. That was the Blazer 95 grain, which is the same thing that's in our Security 380. We're going to shoot at our top target now. I'm going to call those comparable groups.
Here is a picture of our target that was set up at 7 yards. This is a 6-inch target here. And as we see, in my not an expert opinion with both firearms, I'm going to call those comparable groups. They're both, for me, decent groups, fairly well centered on the targets. And at 7 yards, that's pretty much all I could ask for any concealed carry personal protection firearm. For me, that's both very good groups from both firearms. Now we're going to take a brief break from our range session to go into some of the numbers between these firearms. This week, we'll start the numbers with the Kimber. The Kimber Micro 380 is 5.6 inches long, 4 inches high, 1.08 inches wide, and weighs in at 13.4 ounces. The Ruger Security 380 is 6.52 inches long, 4.35 inches high, 1.02 inches wide, and weighs in at 19.7 ounces. Besides being both chambered in 380 ACP, while they don't look very similar externally, under the hood there are some similarities between these two firearms. Both firearms use a short recoil tilting barrel action that was originally designed by John Moses Browning, who also happened to create the 380 ACP cartridge. Even though the Ruger Security 380 has the internal hammer, both firearms are single action only. And another plus for both firearms in my book is both firearms have a nice set of windage drift adjustable full-size sights on them. Again, they're full-size sights. On the Kimber Micro 380, having full-size sights on a micro pistol, in my opinion, that's a huge benefit. Besides size, with the Security 380 being a compact firearm and the Micro 380 being a micro compact or pocketable, depending on who you talk to. One major difference between these two firearms is going to be in the capacity. The Micro 380 we're shooting here today has 7-round magazines. Without that extension on the bottom, I think there's 6-round magazines. Our Security 380 from Ruger, in the state that I live in, came with one 10-round and one 15-round magazine. That 15-round magazine on its own, you have more than double the capacity that you would have in the Micro 380, and for some people, that's going to be huge. Now let's take a break from the numbers for a little more range time.
Okay, I put our gloves on. Hands are pretty numb at this point, but no failures, no issues, so I think we have moved past our cold hands test. What we're going to do now is, I have 12, I might as well put 14, now that I think about it. Whop! Cold hands. Okay. Butterfingers. Okay. We're going to do, excuse me, our one-handed, right-handed, or we're going to start left-handed actually. We always start right-handed. We're going to start left-handed today. We're going to do 7 shots left-handed. I'll reload and I'll do 7 shots with the right hand, starting with our Kimber Micro 380, again at our bottom target. Here we go. Maybe. There we go. Okay. Okay, now 7 with our right hand. Same bottom right hand target. Okay. Now we're going to do our Security 380 at the top target. Now on this one I have 14 in the magazine, so we were going to just transition after 7 shots from the left hand to the right hand. Here we go. The top target this time. We'll have to review the footage. I have no idea how we did on that. It's hard to tell with how our target's already nicely hit.
Looking at our target again, I think we have comparable groups and comparable performance for me personally with the one-handed shooting between these two firearms. And a lot of that, I think, again, has to do with the nice full-size sights on these firearms. With both firearms, the sights are very easy to see, very easy to pick up, in my opinion, very easy to use. We're going to take another break from our range session to talk about some of the differences now between these two firearms. The Kimber Micro 380 is a 1911 style pistol. Now Kimber says that it has the intuitive operation of a 1911, though 1911 purists will recognize right off the bat that it doesn't have such things like a grip safety that a traditional 1911 has. While it does not have the 1911 grip safety, it does retain the 1911 style thumb safety, the slide release, the 1911 style single action only trigger, and again it's a single action only firearm, so you can carry it, as they say, cocked and locked. Though one thing that I think is different in a nice way compared to a 1911 is on the Kimber Micro 380, you don't need any tools to take it apart. It's very easy to field strip and clean. In my opinion, significantly easier than a traditional 1911 in that regard. Being a 1911 style firearm, single action only, with a thumb safety, you can safely carry this firearm in what they call condition 1 or cocked and locked. That would be with the hammer cocked around a live round in the chamber and the safety on. Again, you can safely carry this firearm in that condition with proper training. While not a 1911 style firearm, the Ruger Security 380 does have some features similar to what the Micro 380 has, like a manual thumb safety on the left side of the frame. It also has the slide release magazine release on the left side, like many firearms do. The Security 380 has Ruger's glass pack nylon frame instead of, say, a metal or alloy frame like on the Micro 380. And it features Ruger's secure action trigger, which, while still a single action only-ish trigger, it's not the 1911 style trigger like, say, the Micro 380 has. And quickly, we'll look at some comparison shots now. Here you can see the Kimber Micro 380 on top of the Security 380. The Security 380 is quite a bit larger, as you can see, compared to our Kimber Micro 380. With the Security 380 on top of the Micro 380, the Micro 380 disappears. The Kimber Micro 380 on paper might be 5/100ths of an inch narrower, though in my opinion, when you look at it from both the grip perspective and then the top-down view, the Security 380 looks wider, and I think that difference in width on paper comes down to the extra width added by the slide release and the thumb safety on the Micro 380. Before we get to the conclusion of today's video, how about a little more range time?
For our last challenge today, I have 6 rounds of MagTep JHP. I think it's 95 grain. We're going to try to hit on the left side of our target. There are 2 red silver dollar sized bullseyes. We're going to try to hit those in 6 shots or less. And once we do these, I have 6 rounds of our range ammo. I only have these 6 MagTechs left, so we're just going to use them. So I have range ammo, 6 shots, and we're going to try to hit the 2 silver dollars on the right side of our target with a Security 380. Next, here we go. This is the Kimber Micro 380. I'm going to aim for the bottom one first, just in case I hit the top one on accident. Okay, well, on the bright side, we had no failures. I have no idea where that MagTech went. Seems like it's not where our range ammo was hitting. That's probably on me. My hands are a little chilly. Okay, let's see if I can hit the top 2. I'm going to start at the bottom of the top 2 that already has 1 hit on the edge. So ignore that one. Okay, that's a hit on it for sure. Okay, let's see if we can hit that bottom one now. Oh, that was me. I think we hit the black.
Don't forget to like and subscribe so Freddy gets his biscuits. We are finally at the conclusion of today's video. If you thought the range audio during today's video was improved or worse than past videos, let us know in the comments. In this video, I was testing out a new wireless mic setup that hopefully reduced some of the background noise we normally contend with when filming at a public range. For both the Security 380 and the Kimber Micro 380 we fired today, I'm going to say we saw both very good accuracy and very good reliability. Both firearms are easy to control, easy to get on target for follow-up shots, and had what I'd consider mild recoil. If you're someone like me, who tends to read the owner's manual when getting a new firearm, one interesting thing we see between these 2 firearms is in the manuals, in my opinion. There are probably other manufacturers who do this, though Kimber is the only one that comes to mind who dedicates a section of their manuals to the recoil spring. Ruger recommends changing the recoil spring every 1,000 rounds on this firearm. I don't have a round count on my Kimber Micro 380, though I know it's well north of 1,000. So far, I have not noticed any decrease in performance that I would attribute to that recoil spring. For the Ruger Security 380 and other Ruger firearm manuals I have checked, I have not found a section in them that specifies how often to replace a recoil spring. Most people probably won't put 1,000 rounds through their pocket 380, though I mention this because on other Kimber firearms, that round count before they recommend changing could be quite a bit less. For a Commander 1911 of theirs that I had, the suggested round count to change it was fewer than what they recommended as the break-in period, and what I consider extremely low, especially for a 1911. Depending on where you look and the size of 1911, you should be able to get 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 rounds or more before you think about changing it. Kimber seems to recommend changing the recoil spring at a very conservative round count, in my opinion. I'd like to know what John Moses Browning would have said about changing that spring at 800 or 1,000 rounds like some of their manuals say. Another interesting difference between these two manufacturers comes down to ammo. Both specifically say in the manuals not to use plus P ammo. Ruger says do not use plus P ammunition and stops. Kimber, while also warning to not use plus P ammo, they follow that up with a section that notes the firearm is capable of functioning with plus P ammo, but it adds more wear and tear. They do specifically say do not use plus P plus ammunition. Now, plus P ammo may exceed SAAMI maximums. In my experience, while some manufacturers say you can shoot plus P ammo, most recommend against it even if you can. Plus P plus seems to be a firm not recommended. But again, that likely comes down to published safety standards and manufacturers not wanting to open themselves up to more liability in the event of a failure. Now, while we're on the topic of ammunition, so far in my experience, I'd say the Security 380 is the more accommodating of these two firearms. I don't have quite as many rounds through the Security 380 yet, though over these past few weeks reviewing it, we are likely fast approaching what I have through the Micro 380. We saw today, as well as in past videos, the Micro 380 can be a very reliable pistol, but it can also be problematic with some ammo. With round nose full metal jacket or plated ammo, I have good reliability. However, with some hollow point ammo, particularly the hollow points that have a very large cavity, the Kimber Micro 380 is more prone to feed issues than some other Micro 380 or 380 pistols. When a nice selection of ammo is available, and you know what yours does not like, this is an easy issue to overcome. However, 380 ammo is often not as plentiful as, say, 9mm. Some stores in my area have an impressive variety of 380 on the shelves, while most others, you're lucky if you have one option. Especially during times like the pandemic shortages, finding ammo my Micro 380 liked at a price point I could afford was a challenge. Now, moving on from ammo. With regards to shootability of firearms, I find the Security 380 to be the easier firearm to shoot all the way around. This makes sense. It's the larger, heavier of the two firearms we've looked at today. While it was the easier firearm to shoot today, I don't think that means you can consistently dismiss the Micro 380. Being the smaller, lighter firearm, it can be much easier to conceal and carry for some people. One huge advantage, and for me personally, I find this to be a huge advantage over other micro compact or pocket carry 380s, are the sights on the Micro 380. For a pocket 380, the Micro 380 has what I think are the best sights of all the pocket 380s I've shot so far. While they're not night sights, the larger size sights I find to be much easier to see and use. Now, the sights are replaceable, so if you're not a fan of the vanilla 3-dot sights, you can easily replace them with night sights or whatever your preference is. Now, as I said before, the Security 380 I find to be the easier firearm to shoot. I also find it to have milder recoil. That doesn't mean the Micro 380 has bad recoil, because it does not. I do think it has slightly more felt recoil than the Security 380, but I think unless you are firing them side by side like I did today, most people would not notice a difference. Similar to other firearms that are a smidge larger than things like the LCP, like say the Glock G42, the Micro 380 I find has very mild recoil for a pocketable 380. I consider the LCP-esque firearms quite unpleasant to shoot, whereas firearms like the Micro 380 and Security 380 I find easy to practice with and are firearms that don't punish your hands to practice. Now, there's one area where I would knock these firearms, and it does apply to both. I find both firearms to be what I'm going to call anti-left-handed. The Security 380 is maybe a little more lefty-friendly, but with both firearms having a right-handed only thumb safety, to call either one lefty-friendly, I'm calling a stretch, especially the Kimber. The shoehorn safety on a Ruger Secure Action trigger makes it safer to carry as a lefty, But if you are a lefty and you want to use a thumb safety, you're SOL. Now technically, Kimber does offer some micro 380s with an ambidextrous safety. However, it appears those are the higher end models, like the Raptor line, which can be significantly more expensive than the base model we're shooting here today. About $300 more expensive. Speaking of price, price is one area where the Security 380 has a huge advantage. With an MSRP of $369 versus what is now $715 in 2023, the Security 380 is almost half the price with double the capacity compared to the Micro 380. If you're a lefty and you want an ambi safety on your Micro 380, you're looking at spending close to $1,000 to get that. $715, $1,000. That's going to be a barrier to many people. Now, all in all, while I find the Security 380 to be the more accommodating firearm with regards to ammo, with ammo both firearms function with, I think both can be effective concealed carry, personal protection, home defense firearms. For some people, the Security 380 will be the easier firearm to use. However, others will be drawn to the more concealable nature of the Micro 380. Well, anyway, I hope you found this video useful. Thanks for watching, and as always, have a good day.